Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Level Up with Gal. You already know I'm your host, Gal Perino. Thank you so much for being here. If you're brand new, freaking welcome. Welcome to the tribe where you can show up as your true authentic self and learn to level up in your life. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you and I love you so freaking much. So you already know the drill. In every episode, I'm going to share life experiences and life and tips and self-care tips and confidence tips and brain dump. Things I've been through to help you level up in your freaking life. So today I'm so excited to dive in with you and talk about how to show up with confidence, how to show up to events in your life with confidence and to love the person you see in the freaking mirror. How many times have you woken up and you don't want to look in the mirror? You don't like the person you see, right? Maybe you want to lose more weight. Maybe you don't like your hair color. Maybe you don't like the clothes you have. You can't afford nicer clothes, right? And I have experienced all of these. This is exactly where these examples are coming from. But it all starts within you. That is the freaking secret sauce. That is the secret key factor, is you. So I want to share a story with you. So today I went to a networking event and I received the best compliment ever. And I was so caught off guard and so grateful for this compliment. And I want to share it with you. So I was told today that this person in particular remembered me from another event a few weeks ago because of actually how I showed up with confidence and how I make really good eye contact. And I thought that was the nicest thing ever because I really set an intention when I meet people to make eye contact with them. Even there's a bunch of noise all around us and a bunch of people talking and networking and getting to know each other, which I think is amazing. But I really set an intention to hone in on the person I'm talking to really listen to them. Like, what is their question? So I can remember it and so I can answer it. And I am not listening to respond. I am truly listening to what they're saying to understand. So I can understand what they do, where they're coming from, how they feel, and I can answer their questions. And really, I'm not trying to think about the best thing to respond. I literally answer from my heart and what really comes to the surface. And you might be like, Gal, how the hell do I do that? Like, what are you talking about, girl? Like, slow down. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper to teach you what I do and how to show up that way. So when he was like, you show up with confidence and you make eye contact, I make it a point to make eye contact with people when I'm talking to them. Whether you're tall, shorter than me, or right at, my like eye length, I was going to say eyesight, but right at the same height as me. I'm not super tall. I'm barely 5'2", so most people are taller than me. I'm pretty used to that. There's a couple people I met that are shorter than me, and it makes me feel kind of tall for a moment. But anyways, so to show up with confidence like that, it takes practice, right? But it really starts within you. How do you feel about yourself? Slow down a minute. How do you truly feel about yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? Would you hang out with yourself? And if you're like, no, okay. So then how do you expect people that you meet, friends, maybe you're looking for a spouse, significant other, you're hoping to attract the right person into your life, or you're looking to grow your networking group, or you're looking to become friends with new coworkers. You mean anything in your life, or maybe you're just looking for new friends in general, which is awesome too, because you can always meet new people and welcome new people into your life. Maybe you struggle loving yourself, liking yourself, you're showing up as your true self because you don't know who you are, or you don't like yourself because you don't know what that means, okay? And if you don't know what that means and you don't like yourself and you're not confident, you're not showing up as your best, true, authentic self, how can you expect people to be attracted to you, whether friendship-wise, networking, right? If you don't like yourself and you don't want to hang out with you, how can you expect people to want to hang out with you? Like, let's be serious. So ask yourself, would you want to hang out with you? Would you be like, if you saw yourself, I know it might be kind of hard to imagine, but let's visualize, where if you saw yourself at a networking event, let's say, or, at, I don't know, a socialized kind of event, would you want to come in, talk to you? The energy that you give off, does it attract folks or does it actually deter folks and folks want to like get away from you because you have negative energy, negative vibe? Are you a negative Nancy or are you a positive Patty? How do you show up in life? That's super important because if you don't like you, it's going to be very, very hard to attract people and for people to like you too. Okay. And it might be harsh for you to hear that. Like, damn, like that is so freaking true. Like, then how the hell do I start to like myself, gal? Help me. Right. So I get it. I get it. I've been there. I was there not too long ago myself. And truly every time I level up in my life, it's like, you start to question it again, right? Like, do I like the new me? Do I not? What kind of people do I want to attract in my life? And as you shift, as you change, the people that you attract shift too and changes. That doesn't mean like you won't be able to still keep friendships that you've had for years and years and years, and business partners and networking relationships. Absolutely. But sometimes you're going to start to grow apart. And I mean, sometimes you will start to grow apart, and that is natural. It does happen. But there's also ways how you can still become like stay friends, even if you're doing different things in life. Okay. So it's really super, super important to slow down. I'm going to say this, slow down your life to evaluate yourself. Do you like yourself? What do you want to improve? Who are you trying to attract into your life? What is your intention? Intention is key to everything, right? What is your intention? What are you trying to do? Do you have an intention? And if you don't, there you go. That's a problem right there. You have to have an intention. Like if you're going to go to a networking event, and I'm going to use an example, because I was at one today, and your intention is you don't set an intention, right? So are you just gonna go and just see what happens? I get it. I used to say that too, like, oh, I'm just gonna let loose and like let's just see what happens. But no, you have to set an intention, like something as simple as my intention is to meet one new person today. That was literally my intention today. Or my intention is to meet 5 new people today. Or I really want to get to know 2 new people. Or you go into a socialized event or a gathering with your friends, and you're like, I really want to get to know X person more. They've been in my life, but I don't really know, like what lights them up. What do they do? What do they vibe with? Hey, what is your intention? Or maybe your intention is like, hey, I want to go hang out with these folks because I like them and I want to be able to chill and relax. That's intention too. Instead of just showing up and just be like, okay, whatever, right? When you set an intention of your out, like what you want out of it, but also set an intention of how you're going to show up at that event. Maybe, even if it's a date with your significant other or you're going on a new date, right? That's exciting too. What is your intention when you are going to X event or X thing or whatever you're doing, right? Or even if you're working out, what is your intention behind that? To show up for yourself physically, to take care of yourself, to start to love the body that you see in the mirror. Is that your intention? So it's super important to set intentions. But on top of that, also know where you're at. Like, where is your self-love, right? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love yourself? And be honest, and pause this if you need to. Be freaking honest. Are you, a 7, a solid good C? Are you a good 9? Are you a 10? And 10 being like, I fucking love myself. I am freaking confident. I stand up tall. I don't give a shit what anybody says and what they think about me, because you know what? The only freaking opinion that matters is my own. And I am good. I am good with myself. If you're not there, that's okay. Or are you, at a lower number, maybe like a 5 or a 6 that comes through for you, and you're like, this is how I feel about myself. I really want to feel better about myself. I want to love myself. I want to be like, you know what? I'm a confident badass no matter what anybody freaking says, and no one can tell me any different. But to get to that takes work. To get to that, you have to know where you're at right now so you can start to be able to show up with the confidence that you want or that you see off of other people. So I'm going to keep it 100 with you and keep it real. I was not always confident. I was so freaking shy. Growing up, I was so shy. And this reminds me of a story when I was in like 2nd grade. My teacher used to always have me read my journals, and I hated it. I hated it so much because 1, I had to talk in front of people, and 2, I have to share, like about my life, and 3, everyone's staring at me. Are you crazy? Like, I was very quiet. Sometimes people are like, do you speak English? Like, yes, I do. But I was super freaking quiet and shy and not confident. And as I got older, I was still like shy, but then I started to break out of my shell a little bit by adding humor, and to things. And I like to add humor to pretty much anything, actually, because that's just who I am. That doesn't mean you have to. But humor helps break the ice a little bit, is how I like to see it. But over time, that took time for me to even like open my mouth to talk to people, get to know them. It's literally a journey. So if you're listening, you're like, I want quick today so I can change tomorrow for our event or for my date tomorrow. Like, oh, slow down a minute, okay? It's going to take time for you to learn how you can start changing, right? So you can have more confidence, start to love yourself and show up as your true badass authentic self that you freaking deserve to show up as. But you have to know the steps, implement them, and continuously practice them. So it's taken me years, like I'm not even gonna lie, like 7+ years to get to where I am today. And I still continue to work on myself, my confidence level. I literally push myself out of my comfort zone every single time I go to an event. And that's like my own challenge that I do for myself, to keep pushing myself. And if you're brand new to this, do not feel like obligated to push yourself every single time. And I wouldn't even recommend that, because that's too much, especially if you're just starting this journey. So number 1, figure out where you are with your self-love meter, 1 through 10, okay? You have to know where you are, where you're starting, so you know where you want to freaking go. And then number 2, where do you want to go? Do you want to become a 10 so you can show up with a lot of confidence? Or are you good with being like 8 or a 9? Okay, only you know where you are and where you want to go. And then number 3, how do you get there, right? Well, let me tell you how. You have to start practicing positive self-affirmations in the mirror. You have to start looking at yourself. And even if you don't love the way you look right now, maybe you want to lose a few, pounds, or I like to call them LBs, okay? I laugh because my husband always laughs at me when I call them LBs. Like, maybe you want to lose a couple LBs. I get it, okay? I totally understand. Trust and believe, being someone who is like 50+ pounds heavier and losing a bunch of weight and being super, super skinny. And then I was way too skinny and I was like, oh my gosh, I look like a pencil. I'm not for this. And then gaining a little more weight intentionally and some muscle. And I'm like, as I'm stepping into a new version of me, like mentally, so am I physically. And that is okay. Allow yourself to change, like internally and actually and out, like I was gonna say externally, but like, and let yourself change mentally and physically, and it's going to freaking happen. So there is no right or wrong way. There is no perfect way to look. Right? And the way you want to look has to be the way you want to look, not the way anybody else and their moms and their cousins and sisters and, your like brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and ex-friend, whatever. Okay. You can go on forever and start naming all people. What matters is how you feel about yourself. And you can still love yourself, trust and believe, even if you're not at 110%. Like, I love the way my hair looks. I love the way my body looks and stuff like that. We're always trying to, improve, which is a good thing. Maybe you're like, I have some muscles and I want some more muscle. I want to tone up a little bit more. That's awesome. You should always have goals and what you want to do and what direction you want to go. So don't beat yourself up too as you're like rating yourself and trying to figure out, what direction you like, where you are, what do you want to be, and why is it important to you? It's super important to know why. Like, what is your why, and what intentions are you setting for yourself so you can get to where you want to be? And if you are really working on your confidence, you have to follow through on the things you say you're going to do. A lot of times people think like confidence is just like, oh, I'm fit and I look good now, so now I'm confident. Boom. It doesn't work like that. I'm telling you for experience. When I lost a ton of weight, part of me was like, yeah, I'm going to like have all this confidence now. Yeah, you do, but not as much as you think you actually are going to, because you're smaller. Okay. It still comes with mindset work. Because I'm going to share this with you. When I lost a bunch of weight, I still saw in the mirror the bigger girl, even though I was smaller. Okay. It's mindset. It's all about how we see ourselves. And it doesn't mean you need to lose weight if you don't want to. That's just an example, because that's part of my journey and that's my story. Right. So as you evolve, you change, you are literally having to learn how to see the new you as you are leveling up every single time in your life. Because sometimes the struggle is real. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's like, did I like that phase of me better than the phase of me now? But no, everything is like divine timing and it happens the way it's supposed to happen. Even when you feel like, is it universe? Is it God? Is it Buddha? Like whoever you believe in, is it spirit guides, whatever. Or maybe you're calling upon all of them, and asking like, what is going on? So it starts within you, how you feel about yourself, and follow those things that you say you're going to freaking do. So if you're going to go for a walk, freaking go for a walk. That builds your confidence level. And how it builds your confidence level? It builds your confidence level because you are literally like, hey, I'm going to do this. And you follow through on it. And then you're like, okay, you know what? And then your ego is like, wow, you can do that. Like, look at you, right? You really did do that. And then you feel good about it and reward yourself. Tell yourself like, I'm proud of you. Like you freaking did it. You badass soul, right? And then you keep doing it and it gets a little bit easier to show up for yourself a little bit more and more. And every single day, keep doing it. Like you want to read today, read for a little bit. And then you follow through and you're like, yeah, I freaking did it. Right. And you might think like, it sounds kind of like crazy. Like it sounds kind of like I'm just cheering myself on and like, okay, why? Why does it sound so crazy? Ask yourself that. Are you expecting other people to come through and cheer you on? Like this is a freaking basketball game and like, yeah, keep going. You need to cheer yourself on. And no matter if you have 100 people standing in front of you and they all freaking love you, I'll tell you what, they can tell you all day until you're freaking blue in the face. But if you don't love yourself, you're not going to feel any different. Tell you again and again, like you're amazing, you're beautiful, blah, 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 right? Again and again. But it's not going to actually make you love yourself. Do you understand that? Because it starts within you. It's literally like someone, saying, oh, I love you every day. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're like, oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, you feel good for that moment. But it does not fix your inner wounds and it does not make you love yourself anymore. It doesn't make you feel good in the moment. Yes, that's why it's so important to start within you. And that's how you start. The more you love yourself and the more time you give yourself to take care of yourself, like literally physically, mentally, meditate, right? Let's say some people are like, God, I can't meditate. Like I can't sit there and just do nothing for a while. Okay, then don't sit there and do nothing for a while. Like go sit at the park. Like there is active meditation. There are so many different kind of meditation that you can really do. No one's saying that you have to sit there in Indian style all day to like every day, to meditate. Like I highly recommend it. I love it, but it's taking me time to get to that as well. So, but you need to spend some time with you. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing? Do you give yourself the opportunity to do fun stuff? Like I was walking the other day and I saw like, it was like kids but they did, like they were drawing the sidewalk and with colorful chalks. And I was like, oh my gosh, I used to always wanted to be one of those kids, but growing up with not a lot of money, like we didn't have chalk and like I played with rocks and we would take like the white rocks and like play on the sidewalk because we didn't have like chalk. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I really want to buy some chalk and like just play it like and draw on the sidewalks because that's something that I really like to do. And like to really, really like tap into like my inner child. Like I think that'd be so much fun. Like I'm like seriously a big kid. Like I love kids stuff. Kids are so fun too. But anyways, I can go into a whole nother episode about inner child, but we'll tap into that in another episode. But in order to show up with a lot of confidence and show up like you have to make time for you. You have to make time to improve yourself. You have to create that space for you. I can't stress that enough. You're not going to get it from outside resources. And when I say that, I mean like people. No matter how many times someone tells you, that's not going to like make you feel any better. You're still going to feel the way you do it once that small ounce of like goodness is gone. So you have to work on yourself. So you can always give it to yourself and you feel good and you show up and you're like, yeah, I feel good about myself today. But why? It's because you've been working on yourself. You know what I mean? You got to learn to give yourself credit. You got to learn to follow through on the shit you say you're going to do. Because every time you don't follow through on something you say you're going to do, you are literally breaking promises to your fucking self and telling yourself that you're not good enough to show up and follow through on that stuff. And how many times have you followed through for someone else? Like someone needs your help and you go and freaking do it. But what about you? What about when you need your own fucking help? You need to show up and follow through on that. If you need a mental health day today, take the freaking day. If you need half a day to like go to flow therapy or go get your hair done, go get your nails done to take care of you so you feel good about yourself, go freaking do that. But don't say no to you and yes to others constantly. Like that is not going to build your confidence whatsoever. That's going to lower your confidence and make you feel even worse. But if you think like anything, like I used to think like I'm just going to keep helping folks and then it's going to make me feel good. It's going to build my confidence. No, it doesn't work. I'm telling you for experience. I did it for years and years and years. It does not work. Everything changed when I started to make time for me, taking care of myself physically and mentally, and truly starting to set an intention of where I want to go in my life. How do I want to show up to things? How do I want people to remember me by? What kind of legend do I want to leave behind? And what do I want to be remembered for? Not saying like remember for as in like, oh, if I pass, but that too. But in this moment, what I mean is like when you meet someone, what do you want them to remember you for? Right? So that compliment that I got today, really, really, really warms my heart. But then it really helped me realize, I do a lot of reflection, helped me realize that my intention is always to truly, truly impact someone else's life. And one of my mentors says to me, always set the intention to leave a place, a person better than how you found it. And that's always stuck with me in my head. And I always have intention to get to know somebody, hear them out, because maybe there's nobody else in the world that's hearing them out or listening to them. And I get the opportunity to do it. I don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything, but you get to freaking do it. You see what I'm saying? So rate yourself 1 to 10. How much you like yourself, how much you love yourself, and what level, where do you want to go? Like, what do you want to end up being a 10? You got to know where you're at and where you want to go. And then what is your plan? Right? Set an intention. How do you want to show up at things? How do you want people to remember you by, right? And also, can you follow through the things that you're going to do? Set up a plan. And what are the things that you want to do that you don't do now? So can you start to schedule those into your day and truly follow through so you can build the confidence? But you really have to start to get to know yourself so you can really start to show up as yourself. If you don't know yourself, it's really, really hard to show up as your true authentic self. I'm telling you, because if you're wearing multiple masks and being like other people so you can fit in and jam out with folks that aren't even your freaking vibe, it's going to be so hard for you to know who you are and to show up a strong, confident freaking person that you have the potential to be. Okay. So I was always really, really shy for a long, long time. Right. And you met me today, like, bullshit. I don't believe that. But that is the honest truth. I was super shy and it took a lot of work to get me to where I'm at today. And, I'm speaking at an event not too long from now, and I'm super excited to be speaking at this event with a bunch of people. But the gal today can't do it. But the gal 7 years ago, there's no way. I would have been like, okay, I'm going to speak at an event. Are you crazy? Like, no way. And the first time I ever did a speaking engagement, gosh, it was like, 5 years ago? I was so freaking nervous, and it was in front of like 100 people, and I was sweating bullets. I mean, like, your girl could not have put on enough deodorant for that day. Like, I was like in this like skirt suit, and I was just so freaking hot. I was sweating. I'm like, thank God this suit is black because I'm so nervous right now. But I got through it, and oh Lord, have I improved so much since then. But there's always a first for everything. But I'm telling you, from the girl that was shy in her second grade class who would not speak, and sometimes I wouldn't even read my journal, actually most of the time, and I would ask my teacher to do it for me, and she was so sweet, she would do it for me, but I was so scared. And to get to where I'm at now has taken so much time, but it has taken consistency too, for me to continuously show up, constantly take care of myself mentally, physically, and to continue working on myself. I've hired multiple coaches to help me see my blind spot, and now I get to help other people see their blind spot and how to show up and love yourself. And when they see me and they're like, I want to be confident too. You can in your own way, not to mimic me, but to do it in your own way so you can show up every day. Like, this is fucking me. I'm amazing. I'm badass. It all starts within you. You can freaking do it, but you have to create space to actually put in the work. It's not going to come easy. Nothing comes easy. Okay. And it's taken me years to get to where I'm at. But if I can do it, so can you. I'm not any better than you. I'm not any smarter than you. You can freaking do it as well. And that's a freaking most powerful thing, is that we are all the freaking same. We're all connected. We all, yes, come from different backgrounds. Absolutely. That's a fun thing about it, right? Instead of looking at it as a disadvantage, look at it as like golden nuggets and tickets when you meet more people, because you can learn something from that person and this person and that person. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at it as like, a disadvantage. No, look at it as a learning opportunity, and you can learn from that person and help you level up in your freaking life. So I hope you found this episode helpful. Oh, I can't stress enough how important it is to show up for yourself, make time for yourself, know where you're at. Where is, I'm going to call it your love meter. Where's your love meter? Where do you want to go? And what is your intention? And do you follow through do you follow through in the things you say you're going to do? I get so excited. I was like, tongue twisted there. And if you don't, okay, how can you start to create action plans so you can start to show up more and more and more as your true authentic self and your confidence, so you can go to a networking event, and maybe one day you will run into each other, and it'd be so freaking cool to see, your growth and like, and your energy, to feel your energy, be like, yeah, I'm showing up as me and I'm freaking proud, because you should be, because you're so freaking amazing and you deserve to show up as you, not as somebody else. So take off all those masks and all that bullshit and all the stuff that you were told that you're not good enough for this and that or whatever. You are good enough for this and that or whatever, and whatever you freaking want. So don't let anyone tell you any different. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and you found it helpful. Please hit that subscribe button and leave an amazing review so we can impact more lives together, and one freaking person at a time. Remember to always spread love and kindness, because you may be that one person that helps somebody go one more day, one more hour. Super, super freaking important. Even a simple smile at a stranger can change someone's day and someone's freaking life. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about me, go check out my website, www.galpereno.com, or my Instagram, my social media. It's gal_Pereno. You can find me on LinkedIn, TikTok. I said TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I have a Facebook group. I have a YouTube. So follow all my stuff and share any of my content with anyone that you may feel can find it freaking helpful. I appreciate you so much. And if you want to dive in deeper, you want to work with me one-on-one, I have spots available. Send me a message or freaking book a free discovery call on the link on a time that works for you. It's just a super, super easy call for us to get to know each other and for me to hear you out and see if we're a good fit. And if you like me, if I like you, then we can talk further. And if not, all good, no hard feelings. But if you're listening to this, most likely we probably like each other and we probably vibe with each other and we probably have similar energy, or you want to be here. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you and I love every single one of you. Keep being amazing. And don't let anyone dim your freaking light, because you're freaking amazing.